What was the initial vision behind Startup Bootcamp's Climate Tech Accelerator program, and how has it changed since its inception?
So we did some research that indicated that to reach the UN Sustainable Development Goals, we would need to have investment in 100,000 startups. So we analyzed which SDGs, which verticals would be the best ones to get there, and that gave a clear focus on particular sectors to maximize impact. At the moment, we're aiming at 10 different sectors, but that could change because we're continuously doing this research. So we want to be able to respond to challenges as they become more pressing.
How do you support the growth and ongoing success of startups that are focusing on this sustainability and climate innovation space?
So our program, our 3-month accelerator, we focus on business model, customer discovery and validation, experimentation, helping those who haven't yet finalized an MVP to do that, understanding the impact that they make. So what SDGs they support the most. We teach them how to build sales funnels and negotiate contracts, work on investor decks, financial model, and investor role plays. We put them in front of mentors, investors, potential partners. And of course, it's important for them to be able to pitch and be able to articulate their vision in a really good way, which doesn't always come easy, especially not for tech founders. On a regular basis, they work with industry specific experts and founders. So like right now, we're running a program on energy and climate, deep tech and robotics, and AI and Web3. These are 3 different accelerators, 3 cohorts, and each of them has one or more industry experts. And that expert could be somebody who's been in the industry, who's been a founder or is a founder now. And they're able to ask all sorts of questions, bounce ideas off of, and things like that. And we provide tailored connections as well to stakeholders and potential partners in their industry to help them grow. And obviously we do this during the accelerator, but in 3 months you can only do so much. Because we have an equity stake in the startups we work with, then we are constantly at every level until the exit, seeing how we can help them.
And how do you choose the startups that are going to go into your program, and what do they have to do to make sure that they align with Startup Bootcamp's sustainability goals?
Right. So first of all, team at this early stage is just so important. So, first we always look at team, the solution's ability to really solve a problem that's a real problem, right? How big is the market, and how they make an impact. So, how they align with the SDGs, how they articulate that also in selection. But if you look at early stage investing, at this stage, it's really all about the team and why are they the ones to solve this problem? What is it that's going to keep them in the ring when the going gets tough? We like to see founders who have fallen in love with the problem that they're working on and not their solution specifically. There are certain personality profiles we look for and combinations of profiles. After doing this for over 10 years and more than 1,700 startups, we know that there's a profile and combination that is great in founding teams. And usually it's for CEOs who are high on energy and will, and who hold their team
Right.
accountable.
Okay.
After an initial shortlist, let's say of 20 companies, we'll invite those to selection days, and they will pitch online in front of experts, mentors, our team. And then the attendees can vote on them. They can, provide feedback, ask questions. And during that time, they also all need to talk about the impact they
Right.
make.
Okay. And in terms of the impact you make, then, can you share with us a few success stories or milestones that you've achieved
Sure.
in the climate tech and sustainability innovation space?
So I'm going to really talk about a few of the teams that I think are doing a great job. Um, One is called G-Electric, and they help extend a ship's life cycle by preventative maintenance. So they have AI for preventative maintenance so that an engine, for example, doesn't burn out, because this has happened so many times, and they wanted to stop that from happening, but also to enable older ships to repurpose so that they can comply with EU sustainability regulations. They were in our mobility cohort about 2 years ago, and they're already working with 25 vessels. And there's another company called Uto Energy that predicts peak energy moments and balances grid to optimize energy usage. They raised 1.25 million in a seed round that was about 18 months after they were in our program. After the program, they also did a smaller raise. And then just talking about some of the teams that we had earlier this year, there's a team called Sequinova that has a material that is alternative to sequins because it's made by plant-based materials. They already have interest from a very big player in the fashion world. And we have a company that was in the last energy cohort, also, earlier this year, that takes food waste and uses it to provide energy. They're called Benerg. For example, if you use 10 kilograms of food waste per day, so that would be if you're in a hotel or a restaurant, something like that, then they can use that and provide energy for up to 18 homes for a whole year in Europe. They have a distributor agreement in the Nordics for 100 units per year, and they have a pipeline of 1.5 million ARR. These are all teams that were extremely coachable, that embraced, the learnings they got during the program, and then continued to be in contact with us. And when we would let them know about different opportunities, they would make the most of them, but they'd also tell us what opportunities they were finding for themselves and see, are these ones that would be interesting to some other teams. So I love that when teams like to help one
Sure,
another.
yeah. So some totally different businesses in different spaces.
Absolutely.
So, what are the sort of resources, strategies, and support systems that you put in place to help startups in such different spheres to implement their solutions effectively and to be able to scale them up so that they can do some real good?
So first of all, in terms of scaling tech, for example, we let them have sparring sessions with our CTO so that they are developing, the solutions that, based on how they're developing it, can scale the most. Um, we also have agreements with over 150 suppliers of different types of tools that they can use, from like a Miro or a Notion or something, to develop pipelines and things like that. And sometimes they tell us, or to go to events, sometimes they tell us about tools that we don't know about, that ask us to reach out and see, can we have a partnership with some of those companies. And we've heard that they can have savings in the first 2 years using these of up to 30% what they would normally spend. We have a multifaceted approach where we have expert mentors combined with industry leaders and founders. They have intensive workshops on subjects like product market fit, experiment design, pricing, sales strategies, negotiation strategies. And one team said, that's going through the program now, that from the negotiation strategy workshop and one-on-one session, they were able to double their revenue in half the time. So it was taking them maybe even less, 4 months in general to sign a contract. And it took 2 weeks when they used some of these techniques. So they went from 3K MRR to 6K MRR. In addition to those workshops, and they have tailored advice and one-on-one sessions with most of the folks who do the workshops, but also with other domain experts.
Right. Okay. Brilliant. And how do you ensure that the startups have the financial support and guidance that they need to succeed?
So we offer an initial investment for every startup that's going through our accelerator program, and they then work on how to become investor ready as well as commercially viable. And I say commercially viable is more important first than investor ready, because if you want to get investment, you need to show traction. They're introduced to a network of investors at various stages. So maybe right during the program and right after, be more angel investors or very early stage VCs. And then later on in the journey, as they're going for seed, late seed, Series A, it'll be more the VCs. About 76% of the startups that join the programs get funding after the acceleration.
Right. And you stay in touch with them
Absolutely.
just because you're
So
invested in them, or for other reasons?
yes, we are. We take 8% and we are there until the exit. And so we're making connections for them, not just with investors, but also if they're potential partners that are in our network that we think can help them, then we will continue to make those introductions. I know that one time I made intro to a mentor of a company that was in our 2019 program, and it was 2 years afterwards, and that mentor ended up helping them to get investment. That wasn't why I was making that intro, but then they had a round of over 2 million after that.
And what's your typical exit period?
I would say, you want to, when you start out, 5 to 7 years, but it's more like 7 to 10 years at the end of the
Right.
day. It's taken a little longer
Okay.
sometimes.
And
And we don't have to have an exit within like a 10-year frame. So it's not like we're, pushing and aggressive like some investors
sure.
can be.
Okay. And obviously, climate tech is a very fast-moving space, which is changing all the time. What are the trends or emerging innovations that you're most excited about, and how do you stay on top of all of this uh, innovation, to make sure that you know what are the best things to invest in?
So, first, I'll talk about the ones that we're excited about, and then how we continue to understand the trends going on. So, um, we're excited about biodegradable material, energy storage, using AI to help different populations. So, for example, farmers to have better yields, to fight disease, put more money actually in the hands of farmers so that they're not living below poverty line, leveraging robots to help with labor shortages. And that could be, within agriculture, to plant seeds and make sure that you're planting, having the most amount you can plant per hectare, or in manufacturing using IoT to make factories safer, more efficient, using AI to detect disease earlier, be it Alzheimer's or be it even some mental illnesses. So we're excited about all those kinds of things. What we do is we have industry experts that not only are working directly with those teams, but are also looking with us at some of the research that we've done, taking different reports into mind via PitchBook or Crunchbase or all the different reports out there, but also then sparring with them and saying, hey, this is what we're seeing. Are you seeing this too? Are there things that we're missing? We'll put that also in front of some of the investors in the space and see, what do you think are the most exciting areas in your domain? So it's a real iterative process. And what we see, let's say for energy and climate right now may be different than what we saw 18 months ago.
Yeah, indeed. And what about you as a company? How do you see your future plans and goals evolving, and how will the program change in the years to come?
So, we're looking to expand the accelerators. If we're going to reach this very big goal of helping 100,000 startups, which is ambitious but achievable, we will need to have programs in more countries than we have them now, even though we are, distributed very well geographically, but we just need to expand that community and that reach. It really does take not only passionate people, passionate mentors, but those who really want to help us take this to the next level. So we're going to be opening in some new spaces that, you know, from people reaching out to us. And again, reach out to those if you don't have Startup Bootcamp or Accelerator in your area and you think that that could help innovation, especially as it relates to impact, then do reach out to us because we're very open to these ideas. So it takes a lot of regions to make a very good ecosystem.
Sure. So, and how many companies have you helped so far, and how many markets are you in at the moment?
So we've helped about 1,700. It might be more by now. Um, we're in Australia. We're in the Netherlands, Italy. We are about to open in Poland, and there are a lot of other geographies, the Middle East, in Dubai. So there are a lot of different geographies that we're in discussions with, and geographies that in the past we've served, and we want to also expand and open up again.
Sure. Okay. And for those aspiring entrepreneurs that are looking to build a sustainability focused startup, what would you say to them? What advice would you give them in terms of the best way to get started and then become a part of this thriving community?
So, first of all, you need to have a sustainable business model. And that means you cannot just be reliant on funds or NGOs. You need to be able to make money in what you're doing and make an impact. So, you need to know what your mission is, your sustainability mission personally as a founder, and how that also relates to your company. This will help you have better decision making. It will help you attract the right first employees as you scale, the right investors, and customers, all who resonate with that mission. And the other thing is to embrace community. Like you can't do it on your own. And the more that you have different communities to tap into, that will help you along your journey. As I said before, the founders, it's hard. When the going gets tough, and it will, they need to have a community that they can rely upon and enjoy actually helping each other out at different points of the journey. So
Sure.
that's what I would say.
And finally, do you have a final message to people looking to get into this space who are passionate about driving sustainability and climate innovation? What would your message to people be, who are looking to get into this space?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say if you're someone who likes to help others and might be a good mentor, reach out to us. We would love to have you as part of our community. Um, if you are a founder and you have an innovative solution in energy and climate, water and infrastructure, production and industry, and you're touching some of these sustainable development goals, then please reach out to us now because we have programs that will start in January. Imagine what you can achieve in 3 months. This is something that founders have said to me. I never believed what we could do in that small amount of time. Yes, you pushed me a lot, but we were able to achieve what maybe on our own we could have done in 18 months in the time of this accelerator. So if you want to learn more, then please go to our website, www.startupbootcamp.org, and you have till the end of November to apply for one of those 3 programs. The sooner you apply, the better your chances are of securing a spot. And hopefully I'll get to see some of those folks at selection days, which are the second week of December, and program starts early January. So that's what I would say. Join either as a mentor or as a founder. And I'd like to thank you very much for your thoughtful questions and highlighting what's out there to support startups that are in the sustainability and impact space. Thank you.
Thanks very much, and thanks for your equally thoughtful answers.